that. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to present on my tablet. We are going to be working on the last assignment of the year. Woohoo!
Technically, there's still the weekly survey, but I guess this is like the
That's
first,
true.
like,
There's a survey at the end, so it's second to last. But that survey, I'm not going to be helping you guys out on that. You guys are going to do that on your own.
oh, that's going on.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at this. Okay, the question here is to find another equation that represents this equation right here, and this is actually some form of it's the equation of a circle, and I'll tell you why. Um, if I show you a little notes here on the side, if you recall, the equation of a circle looked like this, right? The equation of a circle looked like that. If I were to FOIL out x minus a squared, what will I get? We were working on this yesterday, if you recall. Does anyone remember?
Um, oh, it's I think
So
is
if you don't remember, right, that's what it means to square something, right?
correct.
So I'm going to ask you to maybe take 30 seconds, figure out for me what these things are. Like FOIL it out. I don't want you to tell me what is A, B, or R. I need you to like FOIL this out. Okay. Take 30 seconds to do that. So again, when you're foiling, this is what you're doing. Remember? Anybody have it? Or at least the first half?
Yeah, isn't it x squared minus 2ab plus a squared?
It certainly is. It's not minus 2ab, it's minus 2a
I mean, sorry, 2a.
minus 2ax.
2a
Okay, and then plus what's the last number or the last term?
a squared.
A squared.
And then the other one is y squared minus 2by plus b squared.
Okay, so the equation of a circle that you're given right now, okay, is this thing over here. I want to copy this. Whoops, nothing got copied. Okay, so do you guys see some resemblance, okay, between what I wrote on the first one compared to what I just copied? Do you see some resemblance, right? Do you guys see that that I have an x squared term and an x squared term here, and I have a y squared term and a y squared term there, right? And then I have a 2ax, and then I have an x term there. Actually, I'm going to color code this a little better so that it'll match a little more. I have an x term, which corresponds with that x term there. I also have a y term, which corresponds with this y term. And I have a y squared term, which is right here, actually, I'll erase this, which corresponds with this y squared term here. You see that, right? So there is some resemblance of this. However, with that said, okay, I want you to keep in mind what is meant by this a squared term here. What is meant by this guy right here, this guy right there, and r squared? Now, those three things, okay, are these just going to be like regular numbers, or are they going to be like numbers mixed in with like a variable?
Well, they don't need a variable. So as
They,
long as we know what A and B are, you can add those two up together.
right. So wait a minute. Uh, Emmett, along that line there, right? What is meant by A here, and what is meant by B there?
I think 4 and 11.
No. I'm asking, like, what is the physical meaning of
Oh,
A
the
and B in that equation?
coordinates of the center of a circle.
That's the coordinate of the center of the circle. And what is meant by the R?
It's the radius.
It's the radius. Okay, so those are all just numbers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right? They're just numbers. They don't have any variables involved. Okay, they're just numbers. So because they're just numbers, okay, when we combine like terms, okay, is it possible to combine? Is it possible once again to combine the a squared, b squared, and r squared there? Is it possible to combine all three of those things together to form one number?
Yeah.
It is, right? So because of that, okay, because of that, I'm running out of different colors here, but because of this, okay, the a squared here, the r squared here, and the b squared here can all combine to make the 133. Okay, so why am I telling you this? Okay, what we're going to have to do, okay, is we are going to have to somehow work backwards to turn this equation to make it look like that equation. Okay, in order for us to figure out what all this stuff is. Now, how are we going to do this? This
Well,
looks like a crazy like football like diagram, doesn't it?
yeah.
But look, there's a really systematic way of approaching this. And Emmett, you had a suggestion?
Yeah. So
What's your
we
suggestion?
know like the 2ax term and the 2by term. So we know that those two numbers that are the coefficient are just times 2 of what a and b are. So
Yeah,
then
I like that.
once we find that, we can square them, add it together, and then whatever the difference between that and the and 133 is the radius squared.
I love what you just described, and what you just described is very abstract. So I'm just going to spell it out a little more, because what you just said there is exactly the approach that you're supposed to take. So what I'm going to do actually to make this like less busy, okay, because there's like this looks like a rainbow equation here. I'm just going to rewrite this again. So this is x squared minus 2ax plus a squared, and then I have y squared minus 2by plus b squared is equal to r squared. Okay, and right now, okay, let's just focus, or in this equation that I have here underneath, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange this a little bit, okay. I'm going to rearrange this as x squared plus 8x, and I'm going to write plus, I'm going to leave a blank space here, and I want to write plus y squared plus 22y plus, and I'm going to leave a blank space there, And what I want to do is that 133 here, I want to bring to the other side. So if I bring it to the other side, the 133 becomes negative 133. Okay. Have I changed anything from the original problem?
Not really.
I haven't. I just rearranged it, right? I just dressed it up a little different. That's all I did. Okay. So what I'm going to do, okay, what was the skill that we had talked about yesterday again, Michael? Michael, do you remember what was the skill that we talked about yesterday?
Michael's not here.
He's not here.
No, he
Okay.
left.
He left. Okay. Kian, do you remember what was the skill that we talked about yesterday?
The skill?
Yeah. It was 2 words. The first word is completing. Completing the what?
I'm afraid I don't remember.
It's okay. So it's actually completing the square, right?
Hmm?
So this thing right here, okay, what we're going to try and do, if you recall, this is the equation of a circle, right? Isn't this half of this? Isn't this half of the circle equation? Isn't that a perfect square?
It is.
Anytime you are squaring something, that is a perfect square. What we're going to try and do is we're tying in the skill that we studied yesterday, which was completing the square. We're going to turn this thing into a perfect square. Okay? So check this out. This is really the same skill as yesterday. So as Emmett suggested, okay, what are we going to do to find out what this number is? To complete the square, that is. Kian, you were so good at this yesterday. Do you remember
We
what to
had
do?
to divide it by 2 and then square it.
That's exactly it. So Kelvin, what's 8 divided by 2?
4.
4. And then we square it.
4 squared. Wait, we squared?
Yeah, so 4 times 4?
Oh. 16.
That's it. So this is going to be 16 here, okay? So with the same approach, okay, we're going to try to figure out what is going to be this number over here. We're going to try to complete the square, okay? So I have 22y. All right. So, Ricardo, are you there?
Yes.
Do you remember how to complete the square?
No, I don't.
You don't remember? Okay, so what we're going to do, okay, when you complete the square, you're always going to take the middle coefficient here, and that's 22, right? Ricardo, what's half of 22?
11.
And then square it.
Hold on, let me square 11. Squared. Wait. 121.
121.
121.
All right, so now there's something to be said about this, okay? We actually violated the cardinal rule of algebra, okay? What rule did we violate? Well, we added a number here on the left, right? And we added not just one number, we added 2 numbers. What's wrong with that?
Well, you gotta add them back on the other side.
You got to add it back on the other side, okay? So that's the whole basis of like balancing equations, right? That's the whole basis of algebra. So what we do on one side, we got to also do to the other. So if we added 16 and 21, we got to do the same thing on the other side. Otherwise, we would have changed the original problem statement, and that is problematic because nothing is consistent in that case then, right? All right. So we're at this stage of the problem now. Okay. Negative 133 plus 16 plus 121. Kian, you have a calculator?
I do.
Can you add for us? What's negative 133, 16, and 121?
Negative 133.
I have it in my head.
Yeah? What'd you get?
I got 4.
It turns out to be 4.
Mhm.
Can you confirm it?
Yep.
Okay. So that turns out to be 4. And then on the left-hand side, right, I have x squared plus 8x plus 16. Wait, wasn't that a perfect square? What's another way of rewriting x squared plus 8x plus 16? Remember, there were 2 ways of writing things yesterday, recall, right? It was a plus b, and it turns into a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And then the other one was a minus b, right? So is it going to be x plus or is it going to be x minus in this case?
Plus.
It's got to be x plus. So it's x plus what?
4.
X plus 4. Quantity squared. Kian, you want to try the second one here?
So what did we get for the first one?
Say that again.
What did we get for the first one?
So
A or
for the
Z?
first half, x squared plus 8x plus 16 became x plus 4 quantity squared. Right?
X plus 4 quantity squared. But is it y minus 11 or y plus 11?
What do you think? Is it going to be y plus or y minus? What do you think?
Y plus.
There you go. Gentlemen, this is the equation, right? What's the center of the circle? Where's the center of the circle? Is it positive 4, comma, positive 11, or is it negative 4, comma, negative 11? So again, the equation of a circle is x minus a, y minus b, quantity is equal to r squared, right? What's the center of the circle, guys?
Negative 4, negative 11.
Negative 4, negative 11. And what's the radius?
2.
2. That's all it is. Okay? So let's take a look at our first question here. Which option best fits this, guys?
D.
So it is
It's
D.
D. That's it. Okay? So these problems here are a lot more involved, okay? If the regents were to happen this year, okay, you'll probably see maybe at most 1 question, okay, on in the regents, and typically it would be if this problem were to show up, okay, I've seen it a lot of times like on a multiple choice, okay. Rarely did I see it on a free response. And the reason is you can see that the algebra here is fairly pretty intensive. Okay, but anyway, that's the problem. Okay, so let's take a look at the next one. Question 10, which is this guy right here. I'm just going to copy this over. Whoops.
I'm happy that you're doing this now because yesterday when I did this, I was just guessing what the best response possible. I mean, like, I ended up getting it, but like I had no clue what I was doing to get there.
So there's always a systematic way of doing it. Okay. So I have this now. I have x squared plus y squared. What was the technique that we had used again to rewrite this? What did I do first in the last problem? Emmett, do you remember?
Re-
Say that again.
I know you rewrote it out.
So I'll show this again. What did we do again, Emmett?
You like matched up everything with like in a separate equation with that
Right.
like problem.
So here, okay, we're going to rearrange all the x's together, and we're going to rearrange all the y's together, right? So I have x squared minus 2x, and then we left a space here, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to do the same thing on the with all the y's. I have y squared plus 10y plus, and then I'm going to leave a blank space there. And the last number over here, that's negative 55, we're going to bring it over to the other side. When we bring it to the other side, the negative 55 turns into a positive 55. Cool? All right. What was the next step in figuring this out?
Completing each square.
We have to now complete the square. We have to figure out what those numbers are, right? Okay, so to do that, right, the process was we and divide by 2, right? So that middle number divide by 2 is
1.
Right, Calvin, right? So we take 2 divide by 2 is 1. And then what's 1 time and then we do 1 times 1, right? And what will that turn into?
That's a tough question.
That's
1.
That's itself 1, right?
Mm.
So we have this. Calvin, you're going to try it again, okay? So I have this number here in the middle, right? The approach again, we're going to divide by 2. What is that number?
What, 2 divided by 10?
No, 10 divided by 2.
Oh. 5.
And then square it.
25.
There you go. So I have 25. Kian, what algebra rule did I just break right now?
Remind me again?
Okay.
You have to add them on the right side.
We got to add it over to the other side. That's right. That's right, Calvin, right? So what numbers do I have to add on the other side?
25 and 1.
25 and 1. Thank you, Kian. So I got to add
So that would be
25 and 1 to the other side.
So that'd be 81, right?
So 55 plus 25 plus 1 indeed is 81. Okay, and then on the right-hand side, okay, x squared minus 2x plus 1, what will that turn into?
That turned into x minus 1 quantity squared.
Yep. And what about the y squared plus 10y plus 25? What will that turn into?
Y plus 5 quantity squared.
That's it. That's the answer there. Which option is that? Is it option B or D, guys?
We got 81, so I think it's B.
You don't have to think. You can, because we just went
B,
through
because
it.
it was positive, right?
So it's x minus 1 and then y plus 5, right? So it is option B. Got it?
The next one, I think it's about the same.
Yeah, the next one's like all of these are very similar, which is just really pretty much just one skill, okay, that I'm trying to have you guys harness or improve upon. So let's approach this again, okay? Michael, what was the first step in this process? What do we do?
My computer crashed, so I didn't catch the lesson. Sorry.
Okay. Can someone maybe bring Michael up to speed? What do we do?
We write it out and then and then like leave.
We got it. What do you mean by writing it out, Emmett?
Like we complete like x squared plus 22x plus space plus y squared minus 28y plus space equals negative 316.
Right. We're rearranging all the different variable, all the different terms with their corresponding variables, okay, and grouping them together, okay, so that we can then rewrite these parts, okay. The
Okay.
and then that 316 we're going to bring to the other side, which is negative 316. Michael, do you remember how to complete the square from yesterday?
How to complete the square from yesterday? Get the number, half it, and then square the half.
Good. Which number do we have?
The negative 28.
Okay, so you want to do this one first. We're going to half this. So what's that halved?
196. I mean 14 and then 196.
14, and then 14 squared is 196. I totally agree. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing with the number 22 there. Okay. Kian, can you tell us what the number is over here to complete the square?
Wait, how did you get 196 again?
Sure. We got 196 by doing, or Michael, can you explain?
We got 196 by dividing 28 by 2, which is 14, and then 14 squared is 196.
There you go.
Okay,
That's
so divide 22 by 2, which will be 11, and then square, which will be 121.
Yep. And by adding those things in there, we broke a rule. Kelvin, what rule did we break?
I forgot to add it to the right side of your equation.
We got to add it to the right side. So we got to add 11 squared is 121, and we got to add 14 squared is 196. We got to add these things to the other side. Okay. Keen, can you add negative 316, 121, and 196 for us?
Oh, God. All right. Negative.
If you have a calculator handy.
15. Six, 1.
It turns into 1?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. And then this, what will this left half turn into? Maybe Emmett?
The left half would turn into x plus 11
Good. Quantity.
squared.
Excellent. Okay. Michael, what will the right side of the left half turn into?
Let me see. It will turn into 1.
Well, is it going to be y plus or y minus?
Oh, it's C then. This is the only option with x plus 11.
Is it going to be y plus or y minus?
Y minus, since it's negative.
It's y minus. Y minus what?
14y?
Y minus 14. That's it. Quantity squared. That's it. So that's the equation of the circle. Again, just so that you're not following just a set of steps here, right? What's the center of the circle again? Just so that there's some interpretation here. What's the center of the circle?
Are you asking for the vocabulary?
No, not vocabulary. I need you to identify according to this equation here. What's the center of this circle?
Center's 1?
Well, it equals to 1, right? But what? So the 1 is actually our radius. But where's the center? If you don't remember this, right, the equation of a circle follows this format. Where the
It's very
center is
similar
A,
to a
B,
quadratic function, isn't it?
and R is the radius. So again, where's the center of the circle that we just finished?
It would be 11 and negative 14.
Would it be positive 11 and negative 14, or would it be negative 11 and positive 14?
Negative 11 and positive 14.
It would be negative 11 and positive 14. It's our center, and our radius is 1. Okay, let's take a look at the last problem. Okay, last question.
It would be negative 11.
The center is negative 11, comma, positive 14, and the radius is 1. So what's
Wait, so
what's the answer option there?
X plus 11 or X minus 11?
So the center is negative 11, comma 14, right? But the question isn't asking for the center. The question just asks for the equation. I'm asking for what the center is because I want to push you guys a little further to interpret a little more than what the question is asking
so
for.
it's C, right?
So the answer choice is C, yes. Okay, let's take a look at the last problem here. I have this guy right here, and I am going to copy this, and I'll write it down here directly underneath. And again, the what was our first approach again? Maybe another voice, one I haven't heard from here today. Did people leave?
No, people are just. I don't even know, to be honest.
I thought I saw
Dylan and Ricardo left.
Dylan and Ricardo left. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Kian, what was our approach to solving this equation? Not solving, but rewriting this equation so that we can identify radius.
You have to eliminate 132 and put it on the other side as negative 132, and then divide 4 by 2 and then square it, which will be 16. And then
whoa, hold on. You're jumping a little bit over in different places, but first and foremost, we got to rearrange things, right? So what am I going to what am I going to pair next to the x squared?
What are you going to pair next to the square?
What am I going to pair next to x squared?
It's 24x.
There you go. I'm going to pair 24x. And I'm going to leave a space here because I'm going to complete the square. And then the next half, I'm going to rearrange all the y variables, right? Kelvin, what am I going to pair next to the y squared?
The 4.
I need to pair the negative 4. So I'm going to bring the negative 4 over, and I'm going to write in a blank space to complete the square. And I'm going to bring the 132 to the other side, which is negative 132, as Kian suggested. Okay? All right. Michael, you are so good at this. What is going to be the number that I'm going to add over here?
144.
144. Good job. Kian, what am I going to add over here?
You're going to add 16.
No. I'm going to take the middle number and do what to it?
Yeah. You divide it by 2, and that'll be negative 2. Oh, no, it's still 4.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to add 4. And what am I supposed to do on this side here, Calvin?
Add the 2 numbers to the right side.
We have to add the 2 numbers to the right side. So I have to add 144 and 4. That's it. Okay. Michael, what is negative 132 plus 144 plus 4?
That would be 16.
That indeed would be 16. And then I have the left half, right? The left side of the left half. Michael, you were so good at this. What will that turn into?
X plus 12 squared.
Love that. Kian, what would the right side of the left half turn into?
The right side of the left half will turn into y minus 4.
Y minus 2
Oh,
quantity squared. Okay?
got it.
All right. So that's pretty much it. Which option is that? Guys, which option is that?
Oh, that's
Option B.
That's it. All right. So, and just as an add-on question here, what's the center and radius of this equation?
Is it negative 12 and
two.
positive 2?
Negative 12, positive 2. And what's the radius?
8. Wait, no, sorry, 4.
It's 4.
Wait, why is
Okay.
it not 8? I thought the radius is
Because-
supposed to be half the diameter.
Because the equation of a circle, if you recall, is x minus 8 plus y minus b plus c squared equal to r squared, right? So if r squared is equal to 16, Michael, what would make r?
Oh, 4.
It would make r equal to 4. That's it. Okay? All right. I'm going to hit pause or hit stop, rather. So proud of you guys. This is the last official assignment